This universe is not just a stage. Every moment, every encounter, every emotion follows a law. We live within that flow, and now we begin to uncover its truth together. Welcome to the law of the universe, where your consciousness begins to awaken. Wisdom in times of recession and prosperity. The philosophy of business and life. We are currently living in a time that offers both challenges and profound opportunities. For business leaders and individuals alike, this is a period that demands a deeper understanding of how to navigate change. Commonly, we label times of economic growth as prosperity and times of decline as recession. However, this classification is not absolute. It reflects more our perception than any objective truth. In reality, the world operates according to a natural flow that does not inherently include bad times. What we often perceive as negative is, in fact, a part of a larger, purposeful design. Understanding natural flow and responsibility. When the economy appears to thrive and we receive abundant resources, we tend to call it a good time. But such abundance is not simply a reward. It is a tool given to us to prepare for meaningful work ahead. Conversely, when the flow decreases or obstacles arise, it is not a punishment. It is a signal, an opportunity to reflect, correct, and realign. In this sense, recession is not misfortune. It is a study period, a time to examine how we have used the energy and resources previously granted to us. If we misuse what has been given, the natural flow retracts, not to harm us, but to encourage growth and proper discernment. Just as a wise parent does not spoil their child but rather teaches through both generosity and discipline, so too does nature regulate our path with intention. The mindset of a true entrepreneur. Business leaders must ask themselves, why am I facing hardship now? Have I misused the energy and resources entrusted to me? Is my intention to grow the business aligned with greed or with service? A business does not grow solely because of the leader's ability. Growth occurs because nature allows it, and because people, the employees and customers, support it with their time, effort, and trust. The prosperity of any company is built upon the sweat and sincerity of the people who sustain it. Thus, when leaders treat a business as personal property to be passed down or hoarded for individual gain, they invite correction from nature. Growth is a means, not an end. Growth is important, not for the sake of wealth, but to build strength and capacity to do greater good. In the early stages of a business, natural forces often support expansion because the intentions are pure and necessary. However, when expansion turns into greed, when the desire to accumulate overtakes the desire to serve, nature draws a line. At that point, what follows is not coincidence. Financial loss, betrayal, legal issues, or business collapse are all forms of correction. These are not random misfortunes, but targeted lessons meant to return us to our original purpose. Testing and discernment. Nature always provides tests. These are tailored to each person's level of maturity and understanding. Those who respond with humility, insight, and right action are given more. Those who fail to discern the message may face repeated challenges until the lesson is internalized. Health, wealth, and relationships all follow this same principle. When you are granted good health, the question is, what will you do with this body? If you use it selfishly or recklessly, it may be taken back. If you use it for good, more vitality and support will follow. This principle applies to all areas of life. Business and life. Our one business is not separate from life. Both follow the same natural law. If your company is struggling, do not look first to the economy or competitors. Look within. Are your values clear? Is your leadership serving others or serving self-interest? Are you aligned with the principles of harmony, contribution, and integrity? If you cannot find the root cause of your difficulties, the same problems will continue to surface. No matter how good the external conditions may appear, nature will keep presenting the test until you pass it. Conclusion. A new way of seeing prosperity. True prosperity is not defined by how much you own, but by how aligned you are with nature's purpose. Even in times labeled as recession, those who live righteously and lead with principle will not suffer. Conversely, even in good times, those who are misaligned may face personal collapse. The lesson is clear. Look inward, not outward. Take responsibility, not excuses. When we live in harmony with the deeper purpose of life, we rise above the fluctuations of the world. Our business, our health, our relationships, all become stable and meaningful. Let us no longer measure success or failure by society's shallow standards. Let us instead understand the greater law that governs all things and walk with that truth as our guide. And title: Why Hard Times Are Not What They Seem. Master CHEON Gong's Wisdom on Recession and Growth, narration script. We often think of recession as a failure and prosperity as success, but nature doesn't see it that way. When things go well, it gives us tools to prepare for bigger tasks. When things go wrong, it invites us to pause and reflect. Prosperity is not a prize, it's a responsibility. Recession is not punishment, it's a chance to realign. Nature, like a parent, gives and takes only to guide us back to the right path. So don't fear hardship, learn from it. This is how true growth happens. A summary of Master CHEON Gong's teaching, the true meaning of recession and prosperity. 1. Prosperity and recession are human labels. In truth, there are no good times or bad times in nature. Nature flows in balance. What we call hard times is actually a time to learn and grow. 2. A recession is not failure. It's a wake-up call. When resources decrease or business slows down, it's not punishment. It's nature asking you to pause and reflect. It's a chance to examine your mindset, your direction, and whether you've been acting with balance or greed. 3. Prosperity is not a reward. It's a tool. When everything is going well and abundance flows in, it's not just good luck. It means nature is giving you the tools to do something meaningful. But if you misuse those tools, if greed takes over, then nature takes them back. That's what we experience as a downturn. 4. Business growth follows natural law. A company doesn't grow because the owner is brilliant. It grows because of the energy of nature and the hard work of the people. When a business owner thinks of that success as personal property and uses it selfishly, nature begins to pull back its support. 5. True study means asking, why is this happening? If your business struggles, your health fails, or relationships fall apart, don't just blame the outside world. Ask, what is this trying to teach me? What am I doing wrong? That's the real beginning of spiritual and practical learning. 6. Nature is like a parent, just like a wise parent. Nature gives and takes based on what will help us grow. It doesn't want you to just get rich, drive fancy cars, and die wealthy. It wants you to live with integrity, clarity, and a sense of purpose. 7. Everyone is given a test. When you reach a certain level of growth, life will test you. How you respond to that test determines whether more support will come or whether the energy will be withdrawn. One-line summary. Nature is like a loving parent guiding us toward a righteous life. Prosperity and recession are chances to realign with that purpose. Satya. Title: The Season of His Return. In the heart of a small city, surrounded by brick walls and echoing alleys, there lived a man named Hojun. He was once called a genius, a visionary entrepreneur who built a thriving company from scratch. His face had graced magazines, his talks had inspired thousands, and his name was associated with success, until it all collapsed. A sudden shift in the market, a betrayal by a trusted partner, and a string of poor decisions brought Hojun's empire crumbling down. Within a year, the once sparkling office tower was sold, employees laid off, and lawsuits began knocking at his door. He moved into a modest apartment on the edge of town, where his days became silent and his nights restless. One autumn morning, while walking through the local park, he came across an old man sweeping leaves. The man, dressed plainly, nodded at him. "You walk like someone who's lost something," the old man said, eyes crinkled but kind. Hojun gave a bitter smile. "I lost everything." The old man paused, tapping the broom handle lightly against the bench. "Then maybe you're just starting." Hojun chuckled in disbelief. "I was someone. Now I'm nothing. The world doesn't give second chances." The man sat beside him, folding his hands. "The world doesn't punish. It teaches. Nature doesn't take things to hurt us. It takes them to help us see clearly." Hojun didn't reply, but something about the old man's voice stuck with him. Over the next few weeks, Hojun returned to the park. The old man, who introduced himself as Mr. Han, always greeted him with a warm smile and a story. Stories of farmers losing entire crops only to discover richer soil underneath, of storms that uprooted trees but cleared paths for new ones to grow. "Prosperity isn't a reward," Mr. Han said one day. "It's a tool. If you misuse it, nature reclaims it. But if you reflect, realign, and grow, you'll find yourself more rooted than before." Hojun began to see things differently. His failure no longer felt like the end. It was a mirror. He started journaling. He reconnected with former employees, not to start a business again, but to say thank you. He spent time helping young entrepreneurs avoid his mistakes. Months passed. Then one morning, while sipping coffee in the park, an idea bloomed in his mind. Simple, ethical, and people first. Not a business to make millions, but a platform to help others grow theirs with integrity. He hesitated. Should I try again? Mr. Han, sweeping nearby, smiled without looking up. Only if you're not doing it for yourself this time. This time, Hojun built slow and small. No flashy launches, no chasing investors. He focused on purpose over profit, service over status. The business grew, not rapidly but steadily, attracting honest workers, kind customers, and a quiet sense of fulfillment. Years later, when a journalist interviewed him and asked, "How did you rebuild after losing it all?" Hojun looked out the window, where the golden leaves of fall danced in the wind. "I didn't rebuild," he said. "I realigned." And in the corner of the photo that accompanied the article, a small man in simple clothes could be seen sweeping leaves behind him, still teaching, still watching, still guiding. What season are you in right now, growth or reflection? Let us know in the comments. How are you realigning your life during tough times?